What's up? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So tonight we're gonna come back and talk about the game and another one of his attempts at sparking beef and sparking drama as he always does. So where we last left off, he took some, I would say, subliminal shots at Kendrick Lamar. But it did come off as he was somewhat taunting him on some of the songs on there where he was basically emulating his style and trying to copy him for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So go check out our episode that we did on that one. Definitely like, share, subscribe. Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Talking about the game coming at Kendrick Lamar. So we have an update. Game officially called out Kendrick Lamar on his latest mixtape and his addition to the Gangsta Grillz mixtape, which just dropped. EMNT Gangsta Grillz starring the game, which is the follow-up, basically an add-on to his previous mixtape, Gangsta Grillz Every Movie Needs a Trailer. So long story short, this is all build up for documentary 3. So he really, really is pressing for a beef or a battle with Kendrick Lamar. So we're going to check out the lyrics for this song on Whatever, which is the track where he comes at Kendrick Lamar. Now, I'm going to play this. I'm trying not to get a copyright, but I think I'm going to get a copyright anyway. But, I mean, you people need to hear it anyway. So you could be the judge. So, song Whatever, let's go and listen to what Game has to say regarding calling out Kendrick Lamar. Let's see.
See this type of shit, this real hip hop shit, this God MC shit, this call DJ drama till I'm scream on shit, you know, type shit. If I ain't the best rapper from Compton, it gotta be Kendrick. And if Kendrick the best rapper, tell him step up and end it. I'm in the stands clapping hands for the man I befriended. Can't go to war against a nigga that I gave my appendix. I don't write.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop that right there. So I'll let you be the judge, but that's a direct call out, basically saying I'm the best guy from Compton, you know, and Kendrick Lamar is considered the best, but tell him to prove it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, and see, this is the thing, this is game being game. Like, you want to kind of give props at the same time and say he's the best, but I think I'm the best rapper. But at the same time, I gave my appendix for this dude, basically saying, you know, he's your brother. You know what I mean? He's a brother of mine. But I think it's his attempt at saying, I want a friendly fight. I want to come out and I want to spar and I want to battle him, you know, as to who's the better rapper or whatever. Now, here's my issue with this, right? First of all, they already rapped on the same song, I want to say 3 times, at least twice. My opinion, Kendrick Lamar out-rapped him on every one. You know what I mean? But this is the same type of energy that Joey Badass came with, you know, earlier last year, actually, in 2025, around the same time, where he tried to spark the whole, I want to say New York is better, got a better lyricist than West Coast, and he sparked the whole TDE / Joey Badass deal, which really never went nowhere. You know what I mean? Joey Badass, I guess he tried to promote his album off of it, but his album did nothing. His album basically generated crickets. So if I'm taking Game for what this is. Why is this your buildup for documentary 3? And like I said, it's just desperation. You know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, Game doesn't need to do it. I mean, I listened to this album, which I didn't do a formal review of yet, but it's coming. But the new EMNT Gangsta Grills tape, it's pretty good. Game is spitting on it. I mean, he's coming with it, and he's spitting. And this is probably the best I've heard Game since his 1992 album. You know what I mean? Now, I've been a detractor of Game for a long time because I just think he's a great rapper. I'm gonna say a great rapper. He's a very good rapper, but I think he's overrated because he's sloppy. He does lazy bars, he does lazy name drops, and he tries to copy artists when they're on features. He just does a lot of annoying shit, right? And I'm like, why do you need this? Like what? You know what I mean? Like really, you don't need to come at Kendrick to put out great music. And it kind of diminishes your value. And you say, oh, I could out rap anybody and I'm that confident in my game, then just put out great lyrical hip hop. Why do you need a Kendrick Lamar battle to kind of spark that? Like, and what do you think Kendrick's gonna do? I mean, obviously you said, oh, he's my brother. Like, Kendrick's only gonna go but so far because you had a relationship with him way back from in the 2000s, you know what I mean, where he featured you. You were featured on mixtapes and in his early work. He was probably featured on a Red album as maybe his first featured big name feature. You know what I mean? So it's like Kendrick's only gonna go but so far. You know what I mean? But it's almost like you're inviting him. And my thing is, if you really wanted to, why don't you just invite him on your record for a song or to do a track together like you did before? And then you can see who's the best rapper. So it's like, you're all over the place. Is it really that you're really just jealous of the attention he's getting? So you had to make noise and say, look at me, I'm from Compton and I'm a great rapper too. And it just sparks to me a major insecurity in this dude. This dude is an insecure dude, yo. He's the most insecure, great rapper or legendary rapper from a certain area. I mean, this is total Jim Jones, look at me energy for the sake of looking at me. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to play, according to hip hop, Mike D. And I'm just going to let you know, Mike D is a Game fan. I'll just say he's a fan of Game. He takes up for Game. And he has a lot to say about this diss and Game's project. And he brings up a point. Is Game really the guy that people should be talking about for 2026? So I got some things I got to say about his opinions on this, but you tell me what you think. So we're going to go into what Mike D has to say about this. Hold on a minute. Let's go.
The Game has dropped another mixtape. Now, let's rewind about a month ago. And unfortunately, I didn't cover, and I'm glad that he dropped this second one. I didn't cover Every Movie Needs a Trailer, but I was spellbound by it. And it happened in December. December was a real busy month, whatever. But the credits came out today. So anyway, it's kind of a deluxe, but it's not a deluxe. It's kind of like.
And the first mixtape that he had, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it was dope. It was solid, but Game, again, to me, in my opinion, did a lot of kind of lazy name drops and had some cringe bars on there. But outside of that, it was a pretty solid project. But this project right here that he dropped is actually better than that. I'll give him that on that. But let's see what more he has
What
to say.
the game did with the documentary 2, and then a week later dropped 2.5 or whatever. Anyway, 2 mixtapes from the game. The one last year or last month, because we're in January, I think was mixtape of the year. It's always difficult to do those things when it's December, but whatever.
Mixtape of the year 2025. I really gotta think who dropped mixtape wise that year. It may be, you know what I mean? I don't know what mixtapes. No, I shouldn't say that because maybe some of the stuff that Joey Badass dropped. I think he dropped like an EP or something. Might have been a mixtape or something. That was pretty good, but nevertheless, it was a decent project. I say it was at least solid. I don't know about mixtape of the year. As far as albums, it probably wouldn't make my top 10. But again, Mike is a Game fan. I'll just say that.
I heard Game rapping at a high level. I thought Chrome Hearts is one of the hardest songs that I heard in a minute. In my personal opinion, and I know it's very early, but Chrome Hearts, classic material, man. Quarter Zip and Matcha, classic material.
Chrome Hearts was a strong song. I will say that. And I did say that in my review.
So, fast forward into now, a month later, let's just say almost 2 months later. He comes with the credits. And shout out to his producers, Mike and Keys. Man, the beats that the game is rhyming on, the level that the game is rapping at, I'm going to say this under no certain terms, man. I got to keep it 100%.
Honestly, one thing that's been a big part of my life that's really helped me gain more clarity is therapy. I've never felt more.
J. Cole's rapping at a high level. There's a lot of people out here rapping at a high level. And again, the game's one of these guys that, the longevity's there, the accomplishments are there. He's made classic albums. He's sold records. He should be a fixture out here. Right now, in 2026, January 2026, going into February, I will put everything on it that the game is the best rapper in the game right now. Like,
okay, I gotta stop it right there. There's a lot to unpack with that statement, because if you want to say, now here's my thing. I can't go and say off the top. I mean, we haven't even gone through, we're officially at about 1 month in 2026, and nobody's really dropped. You really just got ASAP, Cole's gearing up, and the game put this project out. But to me, you're going to have to look at all of the rappers in the last calendar year as far as who's the best in the game right now, okay? Right now, he ain't touching Clips. He ain't touching lyrically. I would say Malice is better. I say Pusha T is rapping as good, maybe better. So you definitely got to go with Clips. Game's a vet now. He's not touching Nas. So I can't say, off of this mixtape, he's touching everything Nas does, even though I will be fair and say that these mixtapes may be a little bit better than Light Years. But, I mean, you're throwing all the features Nas has done, I still don't think he's on the level of Nas. You know what I mean? I think Freddie Gibbs is a debatable right now. And we're about to get to the elephant in the room. He's not on the level of what Kendrick Lamar is doing. You know what I mean? GNX is from 2024. I get it. But that album is still making waves out there. And, well, we'll get to it. Game right now, and of course, you got to throw in J. Cole, what he's doing. And I don't think off of the J. Cole mixtape that he's on the level of that yet. So to me, he's making some noise. He's making some waves, and he's got people's attention and he's on the radar, but best rapper in the game, bro, you're showing your fan card on this one, man. You are definitely showing your fan card on this one, Mike, because there are a number of rappers right now in the last calendar year that have been rapping at a better level or as good as Game right now. So I wouldn't go with that right now.
He's rapping at a crazy level to me. And this mixtape that he just dropped, man, this deluxe or whatever, this is actually better than what we got last month. And I thought what we got last month was crazy. I was just listening to Chrome Hearts before I start recording this. I'm like, man, this shit's insane. And so, okay. You get the, online, everybody's talking about him name dropping Kendrick on the song Whatever. The song Whatever is crazy. Like, again, shout out to Mike and Keys, and shout out to DJ Drama for hosting this too, man. This is, listen, the real boogeyman out here, no disrespect to Kendrick. The Game is the real boogeyman out here.
Okay, so here he goes, right? And this is what I mean about this guy clearly is a Game fan. So let's line this up. Kendrick Lamar just slaughtered, and I mean slaughtered, for lack of a better word, the biggest artist in hip hop over the last decade. I mean, he destroyed him so bad that he has to redo his whole album rollout because he's got nowhere else to go. I mean, he dismantled Drake, period. You know what I mean? At the same time, J. Cole, who is another artist that is gearing up to drop next week, that is rapping as good as you, probably a little bit better, Game. And I'm addressing Game. I'm talking to him like I'm talking to him like he's right here. J. Cole backed out of a battle with Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar was that guy, okay? So you mean to really tell me that Kendrick Lamar should be intimidated by Game? And on top of that, I mean, and he's gonna go and spout off about this. The thing about Game is, who did he really beat in a battle, in a decisive back and forth that wasn't just about clout chasing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think. Now, I'll give you Meek Mill. You know what I mean? Because Meek's response was weak. But this guy is just a dude that comes out and, begs people to give attention to him by doing mixtape songs on him. He's still, you know what he is? Like, I'll take it back for a minute. I'll take it back. Back in 2005, he got kicked out of G Unit. Okay? So mind you, that's 21 years ago. So Game preemptively started dissing everybody on G Unit. Went out off on them, Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, all of that, 50 Cent. They didn't really respond to him and just let him talk his way out of that. And off of that, he said, well, I'm just going to use this gimmick and I'm going to do this. Since then, he's done diss records on Jay-Z. He's done, a couple years ago on Eminem. You know what I mean? The only true back and forths he's had were with Meek Mill. You know what I mean? Now, people are saying, oh, well, they should engage Drake, not Drake, but engage Game in a battle. But it's like, why would you engage somebody that this is what he does? You know what I mean? The only way people pay attention to him if he's talking about somebody. And if Game would just be a rapper and really just show his lyrical skills, maybe people would respect him more. But he comes off as a cheap gimmick in the end of the day. So let's go on and see what Mike has to say. And he's going to go a little bit deeper. You're going to see the Game stand in him come out, just to warn you.
when I hear this guy rapping the way that he's rapping right now, even on the slow jams on this mixtape, nobody wants to fuck with the game. And like one of the podcasters said to me, a guy like the game, for anybody out there who, wants to compete, should be ignored. When they can't do nothing with you, they'll say, yo, that person should be ignored. And that's how the industry does with the game, because Eminem ducked him. Let's call it what it is.
I mean, and that's not true, because he directly went back at a comment that Game made about him being played in the club on his song. I forget his song. I think it was with Easy Mills. Is that Filipino rapper that signed to Aftermath. Let me go ahead and look his name up. Filipino rapper. Yeah, Easy Mill. And on the song with Easy Mill and Eminem, he gave a direct rebuttal to Eminem. I'm gonna pull up the song. Yeah, The Realist. On The Realist, he directly went back at the narrative that they don't play Eminem in the club, and he said, I think Eminem said something to the effect of, basically, I don't need to get played in the club. I rock stadiums. The only reason why you're saying that club shit is because that's the only rap events you could get. You could barely get play in a club. You know what I mean? As far as playing venues. So that was a little bit of a rebuttal to what Game said. It wasn't a direct shot, but at the same time, this guy, all he wanted to do, and I don't even think he wanted to battle Eminem. I think it was more of a thing. He wanted to use a narrative, an online narrative by Lord Jamar, that Eminem is a guest in hip hop and he doesn't get respect in the hood. You know what I mean? Which, take it for what you will, that doesn't mean you don't have an impact on hip hop, because hip hop is global. And Eminem globalized hip hop. You know what I mean? He helped globalize hip hop. So I think this dude is going on a little bit of a reach, saying, oh, he never, but at the same time, you know what I mean? What is Eminem going to do to big this dude up? You know what I mean? When clearly he's only going to get attention because he talked about Eminem, and it really wasn't Eminem. It was the Eminem narrative about him getting playing the club. Let's go on and see what he said here.
This nigga that's rapping on these two mixtapes, nobody right now wants to go bar for bar with him. Now, Game says something.
And again, I dispute that, because you got the Clips, you got Nas. I still say Freddie Gibbs. I might even say, you know what? I'd say Conway the Machine. That's another guy. Conway the Machine. If we're talking about street guys, there's Rome Streets out there. There's still a lot of guys that could go with him. And of course, the elephant in the room is Kendrick Lamar. I'll put it to you like this. This mixtape's going to get forgotten about next week when J. Cole drops. And it's going to be, the conversation is going to be back to J. Cole and how great of a lyricist he is. You know what I mean? So I don't think you're rapping as good as J. Cole. So in the end of the day, this dude is just reaching to me. He is reaching.
And I want to say when he might have been with Shannon or whoever he was sitting down with, and it was a conversation about Ice Cube, and he said that right now he raps better than Ice Cube raps right now. He didn't say he was all time.
And see, he's trying to put cold water on what he really said. He said nobody can out-rap him from Compton, period. He said that blanket statement. And Shannon asked him about Cube, and he asked him about them, and he said, nah, they can't rap on my level. Kendrick, all of that. So he doubled down on it. He didn't try and say, well, right now or whatever. No. He didn't clarify that, Mike. He did not clarify that by no stretch.
Better than Ice Cube. But he understands the high level of rapping that he's doing at this moment. He's versatile. He's agile. The lyrics are there. The bars are there. He sounds great on these records, man. The feeling is there. And honestly, man, he's made some of the best hip hop to me over the past couple of months that I've heard a long time. Like, this is the shit you feel. And
again, it's dope. And I'm gonna do my review on the second mixtape. I might even do something on the entire mixtape series with the two of them. But in the end of the day, like, I'll give him props. He's rapping pretty good. Lyrically, he's pretty good. And well, I'll say something about Documentary 3 in a minute. We'll let him finish up, and then we'll get back to it.
I was very, very pleased with what J. Cole did on his, on his birthday blizzard, where he was killing some of the classic.
Which I would take J. Cole over Game right now.
Classic tracks. This right here is different, man. Right now, man, I'm sorry. The Game is the best rapper in the game, and I would love for anybody to show me some evidence, record-wise, to refute these songs that I'm about to quote here. Whatever. Secondhand Smoke,
Okay.
Art Basel, Brick by Brick with Benny the Butcher and Conway.
Okay, I got you, right? First of all, you really want to go there? I'll take the new J. Cole Second Disc 2 Track 2 over anything on that album. That's number one. Like I said, if we're going to talk about in the game right now, we've only had 1 month of this year. So nobody's really come out with nothing. So we got to really be fair and do a full calendar year. I would take just about all of the songs on Let God Sort Them Out. Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face. So Be It. I would take that as better rap song. I would take Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face is better than any song on this Game album, period. Okay? I would take on Nas Light Years. I would take Madman. What else? What else came out? I could take a number of rappers. I would say J. Cole. I would say Malice and Pusha T. I might even take some of the songs on Conway's album that's rapping on this level or better, that he's rapping on this level or better. So there's my rebuttal right there, Mike. Like, I hope people in the comments came at you, bro. But if we're talking right now, I'm thinking in the last calendar year currently. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'll get to it because I got a challenge for Mike and I got a challenge for Game too.
Again, Quarter Zips and Matcha, America's Nightmare. Come on, Chrome Hearts. Like, no, man.
Chrome Hearts is the hardest song on there, on the mixtape. And I still would take on Let God Sort Them Out. I would probably take at least 80% of that album over Chrome Hearts.
These are some really, really dope records, man. And this nigga's rapping at a high level. Eminem doesn't want it with him. And I'm going to be real here. Kendrick Lamar doesn't want to spar with this guy either.
Okay, I'm stopping it. I had enough. I had enough, man. I had enough, Mike. You are standing out of control right now, my guy. But Kendrick Lamar should be afraid of Game. Now, I'll give you credit. I'll give Mike credit on this. Game is rapping probably the best he's rapped pound for pound since the 1992 album, which is about 10 years ago, because I thought that was a really good Game project. And what I like about what Game is doing now is he's not relying on features and relying on, stealing an artist's style feature wise to kind of blend in with a guy. But I think what Game is doing now, he's rapping pretty good. But bro, he's got to join the line. And I'll issue this statement. He's going to drop Documentary 3 this year, right? I will put money on it that Documentary 3 will not, and I repeat, not top Let God Sort Him Out. I'll go so far as to say he's not going to top the J. Cole album that's going to drop. And he's not going to top GNX, Kendrick Lamar. So you really want to issue the challenge? Game has to top or put an album as good as those 3 albums right there, and then we can talk about Game being the best or one of the best in the game. Because you're talking about him being Artist of the Year, Rapper of the Year, or maybe basically putting out the Album of the Year. Okay, so I'm giving you all Album of the Year contenders. I'm gonna put it on the line. I think J. Cole is gonna put out a better album than Documentary 3. That's number 1. And number 2, I don't think Game is going to put an album as good as Let God Sort Him Out or GNX. Okay, that's the test. You know what I mean? Like, as far as your Kendrick battle or whatever it is, all right, put Game on another song and let Kendrick go bar for bar with him and watch Kendrick out-rap him again for the 3rd time. You know what I mean? Well, let me say this. They actually were on 3 songs. And I think one of the songs, I think Kendrick Lamar out-rap Game on every song they were on. And I bet you if they got on a song again, Kendrick's going to smoke them again on the verse. Watch. Okay? You watch. So that's the only way we're really going to see this. You know what I mean? But all right, that's my challenge. Until Game puts an album out on that level, then I'll give him my respect. Now, I'll say this mixtape's a start because, and I'm going to review this mixtape coming up. I'll probably try and get to it this week. You know what I mean? But until Game does that, then we could get the Album of the Year, the Artist of the Year talk, or the best rapper in the game. But again, he's not topping Nas. He's not topping Clips. He's not topping Kendrick Lamar. And I don't think he's topping J. Cole. Watch. J. Cole will put out a better album than Documentary 3. Mark it down. Okay? I'll put it on the line right here. So with that, we'll get back to it. So Mike, he got a little bit excited on this, but I will mark it down. He will not put out an album as good as J. Cole's next week. You just watch. You know what I mean? And those other albums. Until Game does that, I'll give him respect and I'll come out and say, look, he proved me wrong. But until then, nah. It's just the same old Game, and we'll see. You know what I mean? Because it's like, basically, I'll put it like this. Game is doing what Lil Wayne did, all the way up until Carter 6, where he was blasting features, killing people on tracks, you know what I mean, with the whole feature run and all of that. But what did Lil Wayne do? He put out a dud. Game better not put out a mid-album on Documentary 3. This better be good, because that's best rapper in the game type shit. I see he's got some bars on here and he's coming with some serious shit. Like, I'll give Game respect on that, but best rapper in rap period and the real boogeyman? Are you kidding me? Nah. Until he puts something out on a level of the real best rapper in the game, Kendrick Lamar, he can top Cole, he could top Clips, then we can talk. Because until then, forget about it, man. I'll give him his respect. He's doing some nice shit and he's got some nice raps going out there. But show and prove. Do it on the album. Do it when the album comes, and put out an album that's Album of the Year worthy. Then we'll talk. And I'll say that. Anyway, I'll catch up with y'all. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get to that review on Game's mixtape. Next week, J. Cole drops. So definitely we got a lot of debate. I might do a pre-show on that. I might try and round up the crew and maybe we'll do a J. Cole preview real quick of Fall Off, which drops this Friday. And we'll talk about some other things. We'll talk about best rapper in the game, all of that. And we'll talk about it. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your night. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I will be back with some content, new content later in the week. All right? Peace.